Hello there, hope everybody's well. Thought it was about time I posted another video. According to my channel stats, it's been about 3 weeks, so that's probably just a little bit over. But yeah, so high time to sort of a little bit of an update. I've been busy during that period. I think I said last time I was planning to do a little bit of stuff with the American Civil War. I picked up the Perry's Battle in a Box set a while ago, and I've had it knocking about, and decided I quite fancied sort of painting a few figures up. Thought they'd probably be quite quick and easy to paint. Certainly on the Union side that's proved to be the case. Also, yeah, as I say, picked up the Ospreys, Rebels and Patriots book as well, and I wanted to sort of play a bit of that. I've also picked up Sharp Practice, so I might have to go at that at some point down the line, maybe work out which one I prefer. But yeah, we did have a game of Rebels and Patriots yesterday at the club, and that went really well. Really enjoyed it, had a good game. Didn't use any of my figures because as you can see from these, they're not quite finished. I've still got to do the bases, but yeah, shouldn't be long before I can get my own figures out on it as well. But we had a nice game, 3-a-side, and it played really well actually, so got the game done comfortably within the time we had, and yeah, had a good chatter at either side of it as well, so yeah, it went really well. So yeah, yeah, just a little bit of an update really then. So yeah, as I said, I decided I wanted to get some American Civil War figures ready. In the space of the last 3 weeks, pretty much after the last video, I'd finished what I was doing, finished up a couple of other bits and pieces, so I'd already got them all built and primed, so yeah, then it was a case of starting painting them. So this was the first unit that I did. I've gone for a bit more of a sort of fast and dirty paint job on them really. So there's not too many colours there to mess around with anyway, but I've put literally just put the colours on and then used the Army Painter coloured washes over the top to give the sort of highlights and shading, and not done too bad a job to be honest. It certainly looks okay from a couple of feet away, and it's got the figures ready for the table pretty quickly. It's not really a period of sort of high pomp and ceremony anyway, so I wasn't so worried that the figures look a little bit more, say, a bit more basic and dirty, but it's certainly got through them. So yeah, I'll put some stills up at the end so you can see them a bit more closely. But there's one guy there. Yeah, as you say, you can see where I've not really pulled the highlights out or anything, but the wash certainly has put some shading in there, and yeah, looks okay. He's come out alright. The only thing I did highlight was the sort of face and hands, because you try and make those pop out a little bit from a distance, and it does the trick. You get them up too close, the age old story, you get them up too close to the camera and they look a bit odd, but yeah, from a distance they've come out looking okay. So yeah, so I did sort of one unit, quite enjoyed them, and to be fair, from there I got the bug a little bit, so bear me 1 second and we'll put something else up. Yes, after painting some blues I thought I'd try something a bit different and paint the unit of skirmishers. Yeah, so for Rebels and Patriots most units are 12s, but skirmisher units come in 6 figures, so yeah, quick unit of skirmishers. The figures in the box sort of did the job okay for that. I cut the bayonets off them, those that were sort of marching, other than that, to make them look sort of more like they're sort of skirmishers, and yeah, they come up okay. So yeah, that was the second unit. So once I'd done that, yeah, still had the bug, so I did what's coming next. Yeah, so I did another unit of line. As you can see, I was really flying by this stage. So yeah, again, another 12 figures, various poses. These are all, as I said earlier, the Perry plastics, which paint up really nicely. Got them very cheap and they look very nice, so not too much to argue. I'm sure there's much more beautiful figures out there if you're really willing to look around and pay for them, but yeah, as I say, I just wanted to get some units on the table quickly, and these are just the job. So yeah, so we did another unit of line, and I thought I don't want to do another unit of line straight away, so I'll have a go at something else. Yeah, I thought I'd do some character figures, not too useful for Rebels and Patriots, but there's certainly a lot of scope for these in Sharp Practice. The keener-eyed amongst you will notice they're on hex bases, so it just sort of distinguishes them a little bit. Even keener-eyed will notice that all the officer figures are in exactly the same pose, except the guy in the middle, who was a random metal I'd picked up from somewhere, another Perry I think, but yeah, nice metal sort of officer figure. It's quite painted up quite nicely. But yeah, I tried to sort of vary them up a bit with different heads and different arms. I stole the guy at the back with the binoculars there. I got that from somewhere else. The head on the guy next to him is actually out of a Warlord Games Napoleonic set. It is a tiny bit big for his body, but I've met people with big heads in my time, so I don't think it's too outrageous. But yeah, just to sort of vary them up. Otherwise, the poses are all the same. But yeah, so it should give us a few character figures. If I can start playing a bit of sharp practice, or I can just dot them around the other units as officers, either or. But yeah, that was the next thing we did. Then after that, I decided I'd try something a little bit different again. Yeah, I thought we'd get some reds out, so I had to go at some Zouaves. I think it makes sense to have a few, something different. So yeah, again, there was enough of these for 24 in the Perry set. So I did a unit of 12, and I'll do a unit of 12 for the Confederate side as well. I can't remember which regiment this was. Some of the experts out there will probably be able to tell me. 5th Zouave Regiment, I believe. Looking at the instruction or the leaflet from the box, it seemed to be quite colourful. Quite enjoyed the way they looked. So yeah, that's a unit of Zouaves. So once I'd done that, I decided to do something else. I figured someone's got to be in charge, so we'll go a little bit of a command base. There was a mounted general in the box who got there on a sort of a light grey white horse. I hadn't been messing around with flags because it's only sort of small units. It's not meant to, certainly the games I'm looking at aren't meant to replicate big units with lots of flags and drums going. It's meant to be sort of smaller groups of men. So but I thought I've got plenty of drummer and standard bearer figures, so I'd sort of put them on the command base. And the guy standing there with the written orders is Perry metal I picked up from somewhere, can't remember where. Yeah, so again, just something a little bit more dynamic, a little bit unusual. Got it on a 100 metre, I think it's a 100mm round base. All seems to fit in there quite well. Obviously still got to base it up and do the flags, but it shouldn't take too long. So yeah, that was the next thing I did. After that, I was really in the groove now, so I just sort of carried on really. Yeah, I figured I'll probably ought to have a few cavalry. Not too many, just a small unit of 6. Which works well enough. They fit certainly in Rebels and Patriots in units of 6. You can use them as sort of like cavalry or mounted skirmishers. I haven't got the dismounted figures. I may get those at some stage, but for the moment, these will do the job nicely. Fairly straightforward to paint up. I've got a couple of books, and there was lots of different cavalry uniforms. I went for a fairly basic one, nothing too flamboyant. But yeah, they came up nicely. So yeah, that was the cavalry done. At that point we were still going, so I carried on. So yeah, I had one more unit of sort of standard infantry to do, so I thought I'd better get those done while I was doing well. Again, not particularly different to what you saw before, but they are different, I promise you. I'm not just putting the same ones up again and claiming I've done more than I had. Genuinely different figures. So yeah, that's another unit. So that gives me now sort of basically 3 normal sort of infantry units, a Zouave unit, and some skirmishers or sharpshooters, which fits in absolutely perfect. More than enough for a game, along with the cavalry. And yeah, there was just one other thing. I thought we've got all the infantry, we've got some cavalry, we've got some commanders. So I thought there was one thing missing. Got to have a gun, haven't you? Really. Not a big part of either game I'm looking to play, but there's certainly scope to have a sort of small artillery piece on the table. So it seems silly not to paint one up and have the option. Yeah, so that's spin that around a little bit. It's not going to, I can do that without knocking loads of other figures out on this one. I've only just glued it down though, so I need to be careful. But yeah, these yeah, again, obviously from the plastics from the Perrys. Came out nicely. Another sort of quick and dirty paint job, but looks okay, and it will do perfectly well for what I'm looking for, I think. So yeah, very pleased with it. So that is a very quick Union Army. Leave that there, why not? Very quick Union Army, knocked out in about 3.5 weeks, which I was pretty pleased with actually. If I can do the same with the Confederates, I'll be delighted. Obviously got a lot of basing to do, which isn't always quick, but yeah, I don't mind doing that. But I've just got to work out what colours I'm going to use for that. I'll do my usual thing with some sand, PVA it down, sand and grit, and then sort of try and dry brush some paint over the top. I just need to find the right colours. I think probably want a little bit lighter than I've been doing for some of the other stuff, the sort of European based stuff I've been doing. So yeah, that was it really. That's what I've been doing for the last 3 weeks. Been busy, been enjoying it. So it's on to the Confederates next. I see a few people have been posting videos of ACW stuff at the moment, and that's great. It's been really inspirational, really helpful. There's been a few rebels going up as well, which is great, because yeah, so I can concentrate on doing those now. So it should be really good fun. So yeah, that's about it really. Not a huge amount else going on. Yeah, there's one other thing actually. Nick, British Legion, mentioned in his video, he's trying to plug ChillCon. I'm sure if you've watched this, you've seen his video. So whether I'm going to reach many people he hasn't already reached, I doubt it, but it doesn't hurt anyway. Yeah, I think it's his mate is probably quite organised quite involved in organising it. He certainly works up there and trades up there. So yeah, it's on Saturday the 23rd of March up in Sheffield. I did have a quick look at the website just to make sure it does work. I can get to it easily enough, and it's very simple. It's ChillCon, ChillCon.co.uk. All the details you need are there. I'm not going to be around that way myself. That's a bit far from where I live, and I've got something else on that weekend. But if you're in the area and you're at a loose end, I'd imagine there's plenty of worse things you could spend your day doing. So yeah, I'll just throw that out there. Other than that, yeah, I'm just keeping going. I think Leon mentioned Salute in his last video as well, saying he's going to go down to that. I imagine a few people are going to that as well. I think it's beginning of April, isn't it? I'm sort of looking in that direction myself as well, getting a few pre-orders sorted out. I haven't bought the ticket yet, but it's definitely something I'm planning. So I don't know if anyone else is going to be there, but if they are, it'd be great to catch up with people. Maybe yeah, I don't know if there's some sort of scope for a meet-up or something. I don't know what anyone's doing, what anyone's planning, but if there's anything going on, more than happy to be involved. So yeah, just that's about it really before I start rambling anymore. So yeah, I'll put some stills up. Hope everybody's well, enjoying your videos. Keep them coming. Look after yourselves, and thank you very much for watching, subscribing, and everything else. Take care. All the best.